This week in our collective heads, wanna put an old rumor to bed. Stereotype that you've all heard, how we're all just angry video game nerds. Most of us have actual jobs, kids and families and cats and dogs, yeah. This week in our collective heads, this week in our collective heads.
Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads, giving you the gaming news every single week, like we do. And this week was really packed. I'm just going to go over the actual news of the week. We had the Game Awards this week, a yearly award show that is, it's one of my favorite events. We had that as well, so I'm not going to muddy the news with that. I'm just going to go over the news, talk about what happened, talk about what's good, bad, or what you should know about. We will do a wrap-up. It's actually the wrap-up that Owen and I did after our live stream. I will put that at the end of the podcast, so if you are listening to the podcast, that'll be at the end. If you're watching us on YouTube, go check out the live stream, because it's awesome and it's fun, and you get to see all kinds of stuff. You get to see Pepe the King Prawn, so it's the best. Starting off this week with backwards compatibility, one of our favorite things. And this is a heck of a week for that. This is, again, Xbox, because Xbox does so much backwards compatibility. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, which is one of Kevin and my favorite games of, favorite RPGs of the previous generation, if you don't count the Dark Souls stuff. It's amazing. The story's great. The magic system's great. I'm glad we get to now play this on Xbox One. So if you don't have it, pick up a copy on the Xbox 360. I don't know if it's on the store. I should have checked that to see if it's digitally available. Either way, go pick up like a used copy or something and go have fun, because it's amazing. We also have Sonic Unleashed and Aliens vs. Predator, which is not to be confused with Aliens Colonial Marines, because this game is mediocre. That game is just trash. You know it's right. Sorry, I had to say it. I really want a good Aliens game. I really want one. The suspense one that they did, I'm spacing on the name, but the suspense one that you did as Ripley's daughter was great. The colloquial they, the collective they of developers in the world. This is a property that needs love, and this is Aliens vs. Predator isn't that bad, so you can check it out if you want. If you're a big fan of the franchise, you probably would like it. So Bethesda finally is giving people what they paid for in the canvas bag. There was some discussion, there was some communication that apparently the canvas bags were originally only meant for influencers, and it wasn't meant for actually people who are buying the $200 Power Armor Edition. But to me, that $200 Power Armor Edition, honestly, if it's a canvas bag, looking at everything in it, it's a canvas bag and a really good recreation of the Power Armor helmet that you can wear and the game. I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. For only $200, some corners had to be cut to make sure it's $200, and I don't think they wanted to cut the idea of making money off the game, which is where you would cut your corners there. A good Power Armor helmet, I think, would probably be over $100. A wearable Power Armor helmet that's to scale, that has good detail. A canvas bag, a decent canvas bag, can be expensive depending on what kind of canvas and everything. I'm not going to go into that in here, but yeah, essentially that was probably $130, $140 worth of the cost. Then you get the map and everything else, and they wanted to cut corners, and it's stupid. I'm glad that everyone's getting their version of the canvas bag. In hindsight, I should have bought this, not for the game, but for the Power Armor helmet and for the canvas bag, if I had, in hindsight, even with all of the problems with it. The game is trash. Again, I'm sorry, but we'll go into it later on. But Far Cry, in their halfway attempt of making a post-apocalyptic game that's basically using the Far Cry 5 assets. It's an asset flip, just like Fallout 4 is. Fallout 76 is an asset flip of Fallout 4. The Far Cry New Dawn? I'll have to look up the name. That's an asset flip of Far Cry 5, but it's really good. It looks amazing. this game looks like a lot more fun than Fallout 76. So I'm gonna buy it. It looks great. I'm gonna wait for some early reviews, but it sounds like a buy, and I think it's gonna be like probably $20-30. Excuse me. Judging by their history, they usually like to, or they have been adding stuff like this, like the Blood Dragon. They'll add, you know, kind of additional content, and the price isn't that bad. Speaking of Bethesda, though, if it couldn't get worse for them, it just keeps getting worse. They're basically, Bethesda's support site had a bug in it, because everything has a bug in it, that essentially could compromise personal information of anyone who created a support ticket. That's everything that I've looked at boils down to, if you created a ticket with customer support, because it's their customer support website, essentially the bug allowed some users to view support tickets submitted by a limited number of other customers for a brief exposure window. So thankfully you're only looking at their tickets, you're not looking at too much, but you know, they said no full credit card numbers or passwords were disclosed, which is good because you can never put that into your ticket. If anybody put that into a customer support ticket and just typed it into a text box on the internet that's going into a support ticket, you're a moron. And I'm sorry, you're a freaking moron at that point. But it sucks that this was exposed. Thankfully, it's not going to give out that much personal information. Any personal information is important, but thankfully in this case, no one's going to get you know, hacked and get their money taken away from them or anything. Pokemon Go finally is getting PvP after 3 years. 3 years of Pokemon Go, almost 3 years, whatever it is. Yeah, finally getting PvP. I may go back and play it a little bit, but at the same time, it's like I've got so many things going on when it comes to gaming and everything. I don't know if I'll have time to get back into it, but I played it a lot with the wife, played it a lot with some friends, where we would just go out and catch Pokemon, and it was a nice way to just get out of the house and go do something. Yeah, you are in front of your screen, sure. I know people are like, yeah, you're out of your house, but you're still holding a cell phone, sure. But it was a really fun way to get out of the house. I met a bunch of people I wouldn't have met otherwise, which anytime that happens is a great thing when you're meeting people face to face, and getting that human interaction, positive human interaction, as opposed to the internet of negativity. I mean, I was Team Mystic, but we see people who are Team Valor or whatever the other one was that no one was in. Hardly anyone was in. I'd see people who were on the other team, and it didn't matter. Like, nobody like screamed. We were just happy that we were out catching Pokemon, and now we can battle people. Is going to be really cool. And I think with Pokemon, I think that it's still going to keep that positivity, because at least all of my interactions with people playing Pokemon, like regular Pokemon, and I mean that like by the traditional games, is battling them. Like, even when I'd lose, if I was playing someone in person, they would talk to me about like, hey, okay, well this is how I did it, or hey, you should have done such and such, which is good. That's constructive criticism. That'll get you better at the game. So good stuff, I think. We actually got some Borderlands 3 news, if we can believe it. This was publicized by The Know. The Know is a pretty good, you know, source of news, but they did say this was an insider who gave them this this news. So I say take it with a grain of salt. But we got some news about what allegedly, I keep saying this because you know you never know. Allegedly, the 4 classes for Borderlands 3, the Soldier, who summons a Titan, so essentially like Titanfall, like it summons some Titan. Allegedly, again, that a person, if you're playing co-op, can get in and use a turret, so that's kind of cool. The Siren apparently is going to be melee like Brick was. The Assassin is apparently similar to Zero, and you can summon a decoy to distract or, you know, bring focus, whatever. And then a Beastmaster, who's like a hunter character who has 3 choosable pets to play with and to grind with, to fight with. I don't know how you want to phrase that, but this is all like alpha testing, allegedly. And I keep saying allegedly because I'm sorry, I don't want to report this and people to get the wrong idea. I don't believe it yet. I don't know. I don't know if this is true, because they say that they were given this info. I don't know if it was someone on the team who is actually working on this, someone at the Gearbox that's working on it, but I don't know. We'll find out. Xbox has continued to purchase and position themselves for at least the last half of this generation console's lifespan, if not next generation's lifespan, to be the gaming console of choice when it comes to first parties. The reason I say that is all the studios they've been buying out recently. They've also been buying out a lot of very high-profile, influential people, and the latest one of that is Insomniac's Drew Murray, who worked through several Insomniac games in 2015. Great guy, lead designer for Resistance 3, and directed Sunset Overdrive, which I thought was a completely underrated game. So he's now going to be working for The Initiative, which is one of Xbox's internal studios, now internal studios. Next year's E3 is going to be insane for Xbox. Sony's been quiet. I'm really hoping that they're positioning themselves as well. But from even an outsider who's not in the industry is looking at this, knows Microsoft is positioning themselves for the long game. They know they've lost this generation so far. The Xbox One X is still the best console on the market, but it's expensive. But yeah, they're totally positioning themselves for the future, and I'm really happy that they are, because they're a great, they're a great console. They're a great company, but unfortunately, they lost sight of first-party games, and I called this back when they said that every game is going to be if it's playable on Xbox, it's playable on Windows, and I said that's your death knell right there. That's it. You've just put a nail in your coffin. Enjoy it, and enjoy whatever money you're going to get, because anyone who has a PC can now play your games. PC gamers don't have to buy an Xbox anymore. And I'm sorry, most PC gamers, most people who play games on PC also play on console. Contrary to what people will say on the internet. Yes, people prefer games on a mouse and keyboard, yes, which I love Christoph Waltz joking about that. But yes, a lot of people do prefer that. But I know a ton of people, and I've looked at people online, looked at demographics, and the people who play PC, most of them also have a console. And they're not going to buy an Xbox if they can play the same game on their powerhouse gaming PC. There's no real point to it. But you will play Guacamelee 2, or at least some people will. It's coming to Switch December 10th, coming to Xbox as well, which is great. We're actually only a couple days away from that. I didn't play Guacamelee 2, so maybe I will. I don't know. It seems like a great game for the Switch, but unfortunately, I just bought Smash and a bunch of other stuff, so I don't know if I'll buy it right now. Maybe I'll wait for it to go on sale. I hate saying that, but right now I just don't have the time. There's so many good games out, I just don't have time to do it. Tabata announced a new studio. He's the director for Final Fantasy 15. Departed Square October of this year, and he's starting his own studio, JP Games. Of course, we don't know a lot about this. He just said, hey, I started up my own company called JP Games Inc. Right now, we're preparing to target January 2019 launch. That's not referring to a video game launch. That's referring to the company launch. Sorry, don't get your hopes up. It's going to be a while before they put out something, unless they put out something very rudimentary, straightforward, mobile games. I really hope that they don't, but it's cool. It's cool to see that he's starting his own company, and hopefully he'll do something better than what Square was having him do. Epic launched a new digital game marketplace, basically a competitor to Steam, and they're, again, really positioning themselves to ensure that not only are they beneficial for developers, but they're trying to get more and more content on there. I mean, this is Epic Games. They own Fortnite, so they have the money. They don't, this is extra for them. This is an extra revenue stream for them, and I think it's a great revenue stream. Speaking of that revenue stream, 88% of the revenue will go to developers. That is amazing, because most developers don't get anywhere near that much. When you have a distribution company, a lot of your money goes to distribution, it goes to marketing, and it goes to a brick and mortar store. For 88%, to keep 88% of your profit, that's honestly, it's unheard of. That's a margin that no one's near. So I'm thinking a lot of people are going to move towards this. Epic's a big enough name for this to work anyways. I think a lot of developers are going to move towards having their games on Epic. I haven't looked yet. I'm assuming that there's nothing in there that says you can't be on Steam and Epic. But honestly, with the money that they have, I wouldn't be surprised to see some real exclusive games get on the Epic Store and not on Steam. I think it's a great move for them, and I think it shows their love of devs, because they technically are devs. Anyways, speaking of Fortnite Creative launched on, what was it, Thursday morning. Basically, you can get an island, and you can make stuff on it. You can build your own kind of game or something, not game, but build your own environment at least. I think it's really cool. I think this kind of stuff needs to be in games to show kids like what you can do, because there are a lot of kids who are like, oh, video games are cool, I want to make video games. Okay, well, what does that entail? Just like, even if you're not coding, what goes into that? And this is very, very, very basic version of that, but at the same time, it gives them a taste of building a world. It's like, create like your very first set of paints and trying to paint something. And the better you get, the better materials you get, and the better technique you get, obviously you make better games. I think this is really cool. Fortnite is being sued by the rapper 2Milli. Apparently one of the dance emotes is basically a copy of one of his dances from his music videos or whatever, but all of Fortnite's dances are copies of other things. All of them. That's the point. That's what happened in World of Warcraft as well. No one sued that I remember. No one should sue. This is an homage. That being said, some of these cost money. I do see where he'd have a point if people are like, hey, you're buying something that's my dance. Okay, but are you the only person who ever did that dance? I'm sorry, but okay. Michael Jackson's known for the moonwalk, right? He stole that. Go look it up. Michael Jackson was influenced by multiple dancers. I can't remember the guy's name, a specific French dancer, but like, the moonwalk was a thing, and he did it slightly different and spotlighted that one piece of it and repackaged it. He never got sued. Dance is adaptation, it's borrowing, it's all of that, but he's a rapper, so he doesn't understand sampling. Yeah, that's right, I called you out, boy. Called you out. Seriously. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. If this wins, it's stupid. There's no reason for it. In an industry riddled with copying everyone else's work and then not giving them credit or any money, you can eat it. You can just sue yourself at that point. I want to sue him. I want to find a way to sue him now, or at least contact the people that should be suing him and say, hey, this guy ripped you off, because I bet he did. I bet he freaking did. Anyway, speaking of Battle Royale stuff, CSGO launched their Battle Royale, which is Danger Zone, and is free to play now, because they know, hey, we got to make us some money, and all these people are cracking down on loot boxes, because that was a big thing. CSGO was getting a lot of, off of gambling and loot boxes, they were getting a huge revenue stream. So they're like, you know what, let's go Battle Royale style and see what we can do. That's what everyone's been doing, and yeah, we'll see what happens on this, and see if we'll see if it helps them, if it works for them, because there are so many people that tried to make this move and it didn't work for. The market is oversaturated. I want it to keep oversaturating. I want one winner to happen. I want no more developers to say, hey, that's my cash grab. Because if you have a great idea for a game, go for it. By all means, make the game. But if you are looking at that type of game to say, hey, this is what the kids are playing, I'm gonna make some money, then you need to get out of the business. Like, this is not this is not a business of taking people's money because you're hitting whatever the latest fad is. Video games are entertainment, it's art, it's fun. It shouldn't be a cash grab for people. So hopefully that happens eventually with the market. I wish them luck with CSGO's Danger Zone. I do wish them luck. I just mean I'm tired of the practice of companies riding bandwagons for money. And I know everyone does that in our society, but yeah, I'm just waiting for this to finish. And like I already predicted, by the end of 2019, we'll have another thing going on, and it won't be Battle Royale anymore. So stay tuned for that, because I don't know what it is, but it's going to happen. Markets are cyclical. Come on. Speaking of horrible things and people that are completely despicable and that I can't stand, no, it's not Jacksepticeye. You're not on my list this year. PewDiePie, basically, his fans hacked into 50,000 printers and printed out advertising for PewDiePie. PewDiePie himself, I don't know if he asked for them to do this. I don't care. He's a disgusting human being. He's not that bad, but I just don't think he's that talented. I think he's overrated. And you know, if there are talented people who are making great content, who are beneficial, especially when you have kids watching, you want that person to be a model citizen. He's not near as bad as, I guess, Jake Paul and those people, but yeah, it's kind of crazy that the fans did this. Obviously I'm not going to condone that, but I think that PewDiePie should pay everyone back for the printer ink and the paper that was used in this. I don't care about the compromising. I just want to see him send a couple bucks to everybody. That'd be funny. So we talked a little bit about Far Cry New Dawn a little bit already. They did leak this previous to the Game Awards, but Far Cry New Dawn, I think, is going to be what, you know, Fallout. Not that Fallout 76 should have been this, because it's not the same thing. But I think this is going to be, I don't know if better than Fallout 4, but I'm going to say probably on par with Fallout 4 when it comes to fun, to gameplay, to entertainment. So this is going to be a standalone DLC, which we knew was similar to what they did with Blood Dragon, but this is going to have a lot more content than Blood Dragon. It is going to be $40. It is standalone DLC, meaning if you don't have Far Cry 5, you can buy this, and you don't have to buy Far Cry 5 and this. You can just play this game if that's what you wanted to do. $40, that's not bad. That tells me they're like, hey, we got a lot of content in here. We think it's going to be really fun. But you know, we're not going to charge you $60 like Bethesda for an asset flip that's empty and devoid and heartless and sad and boring. I had the similar experience with Sea of Thieves earlier this year. Sea of Thieves was great when you play with a great group of people. Owen and I played Sea of Thieves. I played with a couple other people. I played with some kids that I got randomly paired up with, which, because there's so much negativity in the world, I decided I was going to pretend that I was really new at the game, which I wasn't very good at the game anyways, but I pretended I was really new at the game, and I let the kids, like, tell me how to do stuff, because it made them feel really good. Be that person, like either coaching young kids or letting them shine. It's so important, because I guarantee that kid, like, at least for that moment, probably for later on in the day, maybe the next couple days, I'm sure that was a really great moment for him, because he was helping someone out. Anytime you're helping someone, it's very positive. It's very, like, it does, you know, kind of rush you with endorphins. You feel valuable. You feel valued. In this case, that kid did. Actually, multiple kids, multiple times. Anytime you're online, like, if you run into that, like, be that positive beacon. There's too much negativity out there. The kids are going to get called names and called stupid, or even a tone of voice where you're, like, acting like they don't know what they're doing. They're kids. Like, seriously. And if your kid's out there, good for you playing video games. I know a lot of people say don't play video games. Use it as a way to, you know, to reward yourself. That's what I do. There's a lot of things that are important in this life, not just video games. As a guy who does video games all the time, plays video games all the time, talks about them all the time. Get your homework done first, kids. Seriously, do your homework, do your chores, get everything done, and then reward yourself with some awesome games, because there's awesome games out there, and this is a total awesome career of making games and journalism. Playing games online, sorry, you're not going to make money off that. It's like being a pop star. It's not. It's very, very rare. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox. What else is in the news? Last but not least, I guess, Red Dead Online's economy is now better. Essentially, the rewards in-game were not near high enough. It made it a little... Basically, they've adjusted the prices for in-game items, increased payouts of cash and gold. They're trying to make the economy better, and the economy of people who just play and don't spend money. Also the people who want to spend some money, but they don't want to make it pay for win. So it's good. So they reduced the prices of most weapons, which is great. So players who already purchased it, you're automatically given a deposit of the difference, which is great. Meaning that if you paid extra for it, then yeah, you don't have to do it. So players who've taken part in the online beta, which I could not get into, okay? I could not get into this. I tried repeatedly, could not get into it. I pre-ordered the game, could not get into it. Anyways, players who have taken part in the online beta are going to receive $250 of in-game cash and 15 gold bars. That's $250 in-game cash, not $250 worth of in-game cash. Still, that's really cool. They're giving out freebies. They want people who played the beta to keep playing the game, and it's fun, so I hope that they do. Now, that's pretty much it for the game news this week. Let us know in the comments what you thought about the news this week, and let us know what you thought about the Game Awards. And go check out our Game Awards show. Leave us a comment on there, and I don't know, something about poop or something. See you later.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.